And good evening, everybody, and welcome in. There's Brother Jack Dawson. How you doing, Jack? Great to see you. 3rd of February. So we're about what 8 days away or so, 7 8 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting. There are people down there doing some early workouts, so good stuff. So we're getting nearer to baseball season. Hope everybody's doing well on this Tuesday night. So not that this is a project, just something I'm messing around with, whatever. But just hanging around in 1970s baseball a lot, it seems. Hey, Bernie, yeah, I'm glad I'm back too. I'm sorry. I guess we're gonna maybe have to try to do diamonds and dice here, like in a week or so. I'm ready to do, but yeah, it was a lost weekend of fixing everything, my friend. A lost weekend of fixing everything. So it's good to be back. Good to be back. I missed everybody. So this Sunday, of course, is the I'm going to be doing a lot of baseball during the Super Bowl. I don't know what time I'm going to be coming on, but nonetheless, hopefully, some folks will join us. So today is American Painters Day. What that has to do with anything, I have no idea. But we're going to. Last night we did some action PC. Tonight some out of the park baseball. So this is going to be opening day for the Tigers and the Orioles, 1974. So taking the hill for the Detroit Tigers will be Mickey Lolich, and he will be opposed by Jim Palmer. So let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. All right, looking at the starting lineups for the Detroit Tigers, leading off at shortstop, Ed Brinkman, batting second at third base, Aurelio Rodriguez, batting third in right field, Jim Northrup, batting in the cleanup spot, and yes, DH is turned on for the American League for this. Al Kaline batting fifth. In left field, Willie Horton batting sixth. At first base, Stormin Norman Cash. Batting seventh in center field, Mickey Stanley batting eighth and catching Bill Freehan. And batting ninth at second base, Gary Sutherland. For the hometown Baltimore Orioles, leading off in left field, Al Bumbry, batting second in right field, Rich Coggins. Batting third, second baseman Bobby Grich. In the cleanup spot, DHing Tommy Davis. Batting number five, first baseman Don Baylor. Batting sixth at third base, real wizard at the hot corner, Brooks Robinson. Batting seventh and catching, Earl Williams. Batting eighth, a great center fielder, Paul Blair. And batting ninth at shortstop, Mark Belanger. So it's going to be Lolich versus Palmer. And we're ready to go here. I'm not going to do anything fancy with the camera. We might muck about a little bit, but let's go to the ballpark. And here we are. Welcome to Memorial Stadium, Baltimore, Maryland. All right. So looking at the starting defense here for the Baltimore Orioles in left field. It's Al Bumbry in center, Paul Blair in right, Rich Coggins. Going around the horn from first to third, we got Don Baylor, Bobby Grich, Mark Belanger, and Brooks Robinson catching Earl Williams, and on the mound, Jim Palmer. All right, Ed Brinkman will lead things off here for the Detroit Tigers. Be Brinkman, Rodriguez, and Northrup. And let's do our little starting pan here around Memorial Stadium. Count 0-1. Brinkman cut on and little shallow fly ball out into left field. Bumbry coming on and grabbing that one for out number one. And there's Nathaniel. Good evening, Nathaniel. Welcome to 1974. I hope you're doing well. Got your disco outfit, man. All right, here's Aurelio Rodriguez. And here's the pitch from Palmer. Rodriguez lines this one out to left field, going over toward the foul line. And gloving it is Al Bumbry. Nice running catch out there. So Bumbry responsible for both outs in this inning. And here is Jim Northrup now batting from the left-hand side. Palmer has the sign for Williams. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Northrup swings, little bouncer to second base. And up with that is Bobby Grich, and he will go to first. And that will retire Northrup and the Tigers. No runs, no hits, no errors. Nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the first here. And it's the Tigers nothing, and the Orioles coming to bat. And there's Enzo the Picker keeping up the good Beatles theme there with hello, goodbye. All right, starting defense for the Detroit Tigers in left field, Willie Horton. In center, Mickey Stanley. And in right, Jim Northrup. Going around the horn from third to first, we'll switch it up here. Aurelio Rodriguez at Brinkman at short, Gary Sutherland at second, and Norm Cash at first. Bill Freehand behind the plate, and on the mound, the lefty Mickey Lolich. Leading things off here for the Baltimore Orioles is Al Bunbury. 1-2 pitch on the way to Bunbury. Bunbury swings, liner into right field, into the gap, all the way to the wall. Bunbury's got some pretty good speed. Is he going to go for 3? Nope. He will stop at second. So leadoff double here for the Baltimore Orioles. Opening day at Memorial Stadium. Brings up Rich Coggins now. Coggins, another lefty. Bunbury, excellent speed at second. Count full on Coggins. Coggins, hard ground ball to first. The only play will be to first as Cash hurries to the bag for the three unassisted putout. All right, Bunbury just 90 feet away. Orioles threatening as Bobby Grich settles into the plate. Third baseman batting in the number 3 hole. 3-0. And how about that? So Grich draws the walk. Mickey Lolich trying to play a little cute instead of coming right to him. So runners at the corners for Tommy Davis. Tommy Davis in the DH spot, batting cleanup here. Here's the pitch. Davis swings in the first pitch, line to the right. This will get down for a base hit. And the Orioles have the first run of the game as Al Bunbury comes in to score. All right, brings up Don Baylor. Bobby Grich at second, trailing him. Tommy Davis at first. This game brought to you by Gunther Beer. There we go, Gunther Beer bringing you this game. There's Cousin Ken Castro. Says, hey, cousin in chat, under the covers listening. Winter, yuck, I know it sucks. We get through this next cool blast this weekend, though, cuz, and we're supposed to have some warm-up next week, so it's all going to be good. All going to be good, man. Just got to get through this week. All right, here's Don Baylor. Lolich lets it go. 2-1 pitch to Baylor. Tapper back to the mound. And Lolich is going to go to second. Do they turn 2? They do. A 1-4-3 double play to end the inning. But the Orioles do pick up a run. 1-0 Baltimore as we head to the top of the second inning. Opening day for the Baltimore Orioles, 1974. Buccos lost 4-3 in extras in this 1974 season. I really love 1970s baseball. Studying it. 1970s baseball had pitching, speed, power. Great. I don't love it as much as dead ball baseball, but I do love 1970s baseball. So you're seeing a lot more of that on the channel, but we'll be bringing back dead ball. All right, here's Al Kaline. So the number 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Motor City Cats. Kaline, Horton, and Cash. So definitely some power in this lineup. Jim Palmer, 1-2 pitch to Kaline. Kaline swings, drives this one to left field, but short of the track. It's been Al Bunbury pretty much all day. So of the 4 outs by the Tigers, 3 of them gloved by Al Bunbury. Right. And here's Willie Horton, left fielder. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cut on by Horton, and this line drive will get down into left field. So Horton will make the turn at first and hold there. So runner on for the Detroit Tigers, potential tying run aboard. Horton, no speed at all. Here's Stormin' Norman Cash. The pitch. 3-1, little tapper back to the mound. They're going to go to second to get the lead runner. So Cash, that was a little excuse me swing right there. So 2 down, runner on first, brings up the center fielder, Mickey Stanley. Count 0-1 on Stanley, driven into center field. Actually, soft liner into center field now that I look at it. Runners at first and third for Detroit. 2 away for Bill Freehand. Freehand batting in the number 8 slot. Sutherland waits on deck. Palmer from the stretch and the 1-0 pitch. Grounder to third. And they're going to take the exit ramp to second. And that is it. The Tigers strand 2, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. The Orioles lead the Tigers here 1-0. Brooks Robinson will lead things off, followed by Earl Williams and then Paul Blair. Lolich has walked one thus far in this game. Count full on Robinson, swung on, tapper to first, and waving off Norm Cash, waving off Mickey Lolich for the 3 unassisted. 1 up, 1 down now for Earl Williams. 2-1 pitch on the way. Williams cuts on this one. Routine grounder to third. Quickly up with it there is Aurelio Rodriguez. Score that one 5-3. 2 up, 2 down here in the Baltimore second. Here is Paul Blair. Again, every project that I seem to play and Paul Blair is involved, you're going to see some great center field plays by him. 0-1 pitch on the way, and Blair sends this one out to right field, but it's going to hang up there. No, it isn't. It hung up there, but it is dropped out there in right field by Jim Northrup. E9. Oh, my goodness. All right, so Detroit just can't seem to catch a break here. So first error of the year for Northrup, and here comes Mark Belanger now. Belanger cuts in the first pitch and lofted to left, and Willie Horton will bring it down. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left on thanks to that error, which didn't bite him in the arse. We go to the top of the third inning. 1-0, Orioles over the Tigers. So thanks for joining me tonight here for a little 1974 baseball. All right, so we have the 9-1-2 due up for the Detroit Tigers. Gary Sutherland, Ed Brinkman, and Aurelio Rodriguez. Actually be Aurelio Rodriguez. And here's the pitch. Sutherland cuts in the first pitch. Routine grounder out there to shortstop. Taking it on the hop is Belanger. So it was a bouncing grounder. So 1 away. Here's Ed Brinkman. 0-for-1 on the day. 1-0 pitch. Brinkman cuts on this one. Fly ball out to center field. And on his horse there is Paul Blair and makes a good running catch. 2 up, 2 down for Aurelio Rodriguez. And the wind and the 0-1 pitch. And this one drilled into right field. This is going to get down. And Rodriguez is going to have himself a 2-out double. So the Tigers with 2 extra base hits coming in this game. But after 2 out. All right, here's Jim Northrup now. 1-1 on Northrup. Grounder, little tapper to second. And little trouble getting out of his glove there, Bobby Grich, but finally fields it cleanly, and that is it. Tigers strand another runner. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Little pitchers duel going on here between Mickey Lolich and Jim Palmer. 1-0 right now in favor of the Orioles. All right, back at the top of the order for the 9 of the Inner Harbor, and it will be Al Bumbry, Rich Coggins, and Bobby Grich due up. The count, no balls, 2 strikes now. Al Bumbry doubled his last time up, and big swing and a miss. That one a little, nice little chain puller there from Mickey Lolich, picking up his first K of the game. All right, here's Rich Coggins now. And swinging on the first pitch. This is going to get down, base hit. So Baltimore picking up its 3rd hit of the game. Runner on, Coggins with really good speed. Let's look at Coggins' stats in 1974 and see what he had here. So 26 steals that year, only caught 6 times. All right, Coggins aboard now for Bobby Grich. And here's the pitch, full count. Grich sends this one out to center field. And not a problem there, though, for Mickey Stanley. Makes the grab. Coggins gets back to first. All right, Tommy Davis, 1-for-1 and responsible for the lone Orioles run. Count even, 2-2. This one, tapper to short. And taking it to the bag himself is Ed Brinkman to get the force. So that does it here in the 3rd inning. 1-0. Top of the 4th now. And the Tigers send up K-Line, Horton, and Cash. Al K-Line, 0-for-1. The count, 2-2 on K-Line. Swung on, popped out towards second, and coming way in and making the grab is Bobby Grich, calling everybody off, even the hot dog vendor. Michael Fisher says, oh, got some out of the park going. Absolutely. Absolutely. Been Beta testing out of the park 27. Now that I'm back up, I can start beta testing again. Loving some of the changes that they've done so far that I can't talk about yet. Still early days. Game probably not going to be out for another 6 or 7 weeks, I'm guessing. All right, here's Willie Horton. Willie Horton 1 for 1. Base is empty, 1 down, 1-0 Baltimore lead. Count even, 2-2 on Willie. Swung on, and this one, grounder to third. Routine 5-3 put out, and Brooks Robinson can make even the toughest plays look routine. It's a 2 up, 2 down. Here's Norm Cash, a little excuse me swing last time up. 2-2 on Cash. Cut on, and little liner. This will get down for a base hit. So here we go again. Detroit getting a runner on after 2 outs. That's been the story for the Tigers thus far. All right, here's Mickey Stanley, 1 for 1. Stanley cuts in the first pitch. Hard hit grounder to short. Not a problem. 6-4 play there by Bellinger to Grich, and that retires Cash at second. And nothing on a hit for the Tigers. They strand 1. Bottom of the 4th we go here in Baltimore, Maryland. 1-0. So good, tight pitcher's duel going on. My favorite type of game. Don Baylor, Brooks Robinson, Williams doing up for Baltimore here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Opening day brought to you by Gunther Beer, which I've never heard of Gunther Beer, but we'll go with it. 0-1, 0 for 1, and the 1-0 pitch. There we go for Baylor. And this one bounced down to third. Rodriguez, the strong throw across the diamond. 1 up, 1 down. Here is Brooksy now. Brooks Robinson, 0 for 1. Count, no balls, 2 strikes. Lolich brings it. Robinson cuts and swings. That one, a little knuckle curve action there by Mickey Lolich, picking up his 2nd K of the game. So quickly 2 away now for the catcher, Earl Williams. 1 ball, no strikes. Williams swung on. And just a little bouncer out there to second. Easy play there for Gary Sutherland on to first to retire Williams. So the Orioles go in order. We go to the top of the 5th. It's still 1-0 for Baltimore. 1 run on 3 hits, no errors. And for the Tigers thus far, no runs, 4 hits, and 1 error. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Thanks for coming in and hanging out for a little bit. Bill Freehand, Gary Sutherland, Ed Brinkman due up. 0-1 pitch on the way to Freehand, who bounced out last time up, and he's going to pop out on the infield this time, right to second base, and it's Bobby Grich. 1 away now. Gary Sutherland, 0 in 1 attempt. Count 2-0 on Sutherland. Swung on, soft liner to first. Don Baylor had it played perfectly. 2 up, 2 down. Let's see if the Tigers get a runner on after 2 outs again. Ed Brinkman up there swinging on the first pitch. Nope, popped foul, third base side. And the Tigers go in order as Brooks Robinson gloves that in foul territory. All right, bottom of the 5th now. Still 1-0. And it will be Paul Blair, Mark Belanger, and Al Bumbry due up, the 8, 9, and 1 of the Baltimore lineup. Here we go. Paul Blair cuts in the first pitch. And soft little blooper back to the mound. And Lolich, paying attention there, pulls it down. 1 up, 1 down. Mark Belanger, light-hitting shortstop, 0 for 1. Swung on, and this one hit not so lightly. Line drive out to center field, and Mickey Stanley back there. Stanley playing Belanger a bit shallow. Belanger gave it a pretty good ride. Back at the top of the order now for Al Bumbry, who's 1 for 2 in the game. Count 0-1. Swung on by Bumbry, and this one lifted out to right field. And easy pick there for Jim Northrup. The Baltimore Orioles go 1, 2, 3, and we head to the top of the 6th. Aurelio Rodriguez, Jim Northrup, Al Kaline due up here. All right, Palmer has neither walked nor struck out a batter yet. Count even, 2-2. Rodriguez doubled his last time up, and this one drilled hard into center field off the wall. Rodriguez with 2 doubles on the day. So first time Detroit gets themselves a base hit of any kind with nobody out. So catching up there, Jim Palmer trying to drop the hammer, and Aurelio Rodriguez was all over it like brown on rice. Okay, here's Jim Northrup. Northrup 0 for 2. Rodriguez, no real threat to steal there. Count 2-1. on the lefty. Northrop grounded out his last time up. Fly ball out to deep right field. Nice play by Rich Coggins. Sprinting back. Great catch by Coggins. Let's have a little bit of, we always give offense some love, but let's give this one hard hit too. 103 miles an hour, and Coggins going back on this ball, and great play. All right. So one away. Rodriguez not gonna run on that. Coggins, good play out there. All right, here's Al Kaline now. He is nothing for two. One down, top of the sixth. 2-2 pitch to Kaline. Routine grounder to short. And they look the runner back. Belanger looks the runner back. And Kaline grounds out 6-3. So will the Tigers waste the leadoff double by Aurelio Rodriguez? Here's Willie Horton, dangerous bat. 1 for 2. 1-2 pitch. Horton swings. Fly ball, medium deep center field. Ranging to his left a little bit is Paul Blair. He's going to reel that fish in. So the Tigers leave one in scoring position. This game is now official as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning. And it's 1-0. So the lone run coming for Baltimore back in the first. That has been it. 8 hits in this game and 1 error. Rich Coggins, Bobby Grich, Tommy Davis for the Orioles. Rich Coggins in there. Lefty swings on a 1-2 pitch. And line to second. Gary Sutherland has it. So one away. Good play there by Sutherland. That one gets to the wall, I think. Sutherland doesn't make that play. Here's Bobby Grich. Nothing for 1. Count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Grich swing and a miss. And that one on a nice sinker there by Lolich. So 3 strikeouts for Mickey as Tommy Davis settles in on the right-hand side of the box. Davis, again, responsible for that lone RBI. The lone run, I should say, back in the bottom of the first. Count. No balls, 1 strike. Davis cuts on this one. High and deep to center field, but not deep enough. And it's Mickey Stanley making the catch. Top of the 7th, game going very, very quickly here. We're just 23 minutes in. So Norm Cash, Mickey Stanley, Bill Freehand due up. Jim Palmer peers in, has the sign from Earl Williams. Here's the wind in the 2-2 pitch. And Cash swings, little tapper to first, taking it to the bag himself will be Don Baylor. Score that one 3 and assisted 1 away. Here's Mickey Stanley. He has a hit in 2 attempts. 2-0 the count. Stanley swings, and this one just over Bobby Grich's head. And this is going to get down for a base hit. So Detroit with its 6th hit. And here's Bill Freehand. And Ron LaFleur will be coming in now as a pinch runner. LaFleur, incredible speed. And let's look at his stats in 1974. Ron LaFleur had 58 steals, was caught, or 23 steals, caught 9 times. So a rather average movie came out, I'm led to understand, back in the before times about Ron LaFleur. So, all right, let's see whether they send LaFleur and get him into scoring position and stay out of potential double play, as Bill Freehand is nothing for 2. And here we go, 0-1 pitch. LaFleur does not go. Popped on the infield. Shallow, and it's Bobby Grich. Last time he caught one in the infield, he was almost at home plate. This time, he stopped right at the bump. So 2 down, and we got a pinch hitter now for Ben Ogilvy. Lefty in the box, speed on first. 2-1 pitch. Ogilvy swings. This one high and deep to right field, but again, not enough. Coggins has it, and it's the middle of the 7th, 1-0 Orioles. All right, as 2 more luminaries grace us here at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore, 1974. We got Jeff Ray, and we got John DFW. How you doing, guys? Good evening, good evening, good evening. All right, we are in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitchers duel going on here. Mickey Lolich versus Jim Palmer. 1-0 is your score. And Don Baylor, Brooks Robinson, and Earl Williams to bat here in the bottom of the 7th for the Baltimore 9. Lolich ready to deal. The lefty lets it go. This one drilled into center field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. All right, so Don Baylor is aboard, and here's Brooks Robinson now. 0-for-2 for Brooks. Baylor leads off first. Lolich checks the runner, comes home with it, and he's off to the races. Tapper to short. The only play will be to first. So Brinkman up with it. That will retire Brooks Robinson. Baylor moves to second on the play. All right. Orioles looking to add to this 1-0 lead. Earl Williams is 0-for-2. Count full. Williams swings. Oh, diving stop at third. Great play, but bad throw over there by Aurelio Rodriguez. So they're going to call that E5, second Detroit error in the game. Rodriguez, let's have a look at that play again. Just your garden variety boot, I suppose. So good diving stop, but low throw. Cash having to dig that one out. So the Orioles with runners at the corners. Crusader joining us. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Great to see you. He says, for years in the out-of-the-park releases, if in pitch-by-pitch mode, there's an ongoing issue and a text play-by-play that's never, that has been reported to the makers of the game and never addressed. He says, after the first pitch of an at-bat, as the pitch is being thrown, if the play-by-play text indicates something more than ellipses, you already know in advance that the result of the pitch will either be a ball or strike. Did not know that. Did not know that. I rarely play this game in pitch-by-pitch mode. I'll have to check that out sometime. The only one I've really ever played in pitch-by-pitch mode is Action PC Baseball. I'll have to check that out. And, yeah. So Crusader says, on the other hand, as the pitch is being thrown, if the play-by-play text indicates the ellipses, then you already know in advance that the play will either be a foul ball, a strikeout, a walk, or a hit, which is, of course, what you want. So what I like about pitch-by-pitch mode, I should say I've never done pitch-by-pitch mode in a broadcast. I've done it offline, and what I do like about it is a foul ball will not always be caught. Sometimes it will go to the stands, things like that. And I do believe baseball should be a pitch-by-pitch game ultimately, but we're just having fun here. But thank you for that. I really, really appreciate that. I never knew that. This is one of Mike Silva's parks, Jeff. So Mike, of course, is doing an incredible job. And, of course, the uniforms as well. So let's look at the which one do we want to do? The just so you guys can just see here for a second. Where is that? And all these cameras also. There we go, 70s behind home plate. So there we go. So you get to see this is also the uniform mod. This is one of the things that gets rarely talked about that Mike Silva also did. Oh, you're welcome, Jeff. If you don't have these, you should get them. These ballparks and the uniform mod. Just incredible work by Mike Silva. We'll leave it up here. All right. Here's the pitch to Blair. And fly ball out to right field. Ranging over to his left is Jim Northrup calling off Ron LaFleur. So LaFleur stays in the game to play center field. So 2 away. And again, these are great uniforms. Let's switch our view around to the classic, I guess it's the home plate TV. Is that it? Or is it the picture? There, not that one. There's so many damn cameras in here. So many damn cameras in here. What's the one that I'm looking for? Is this it? No, we don't want that. Oh my God. Tell you what, let's just go back to where we were. You got to see them. They're nice. There we go. We'll just go back into this. Here's the pitch. 0-2 pitch. Belanger skied into very, very shallow center and out on the grass. Knocks, so I'm not even paying attention. So 1 hit, 1 error. The Orioles do not capitalize. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Still 1-0. We're going to switch our view back to the park pick. There we go. All right. Ed Brinkman, Aurelio Rodriguez, and Jim Northrup due up here. 2-1 pitch to Brinkman. Brinkman cuts on this one, and this one just over short, just over Belanger's head. His glove almost had it. It was about a millimeter just over the webbing. So Brinkman with a little Texas leaguer action there on, and here comes Aurelio Rodriguez. Rodriguez having a good day at the plate, 2 for 3, despite Detroit having no runs. Here's the pitch, and Rodriguez bunts, and charging in from first is Don Baylor. Big cheer going up here at Memorial Stadium. So Rodriguez, he's going to have to answer the kangaroo court for a very, very bad bunt. Rodriguez batting in the number two hole, probably not used to bunting too much. Anyhow, here's Jim Northrup regardless. No speed at first, and Ed Brinkman. Jim Palmer deals the count even. Jim Northrup flew out to right this time, and big fastball there by Jim Palmer, picking up finally his first strike out of the game. So 2 down for Al Kaline. 0 for 3. 1 for 2. Kaline ropes it into left field. So here we go again. Tigers getting most of their 8 hits, I think except for 1 after 2 outs. So 2 on for the Tigers. Here's Willie Horton. 1 for 3 for the Tiger left fielder. The pitch. Horton, oh my God, he crushes this one. Way back open the window, Aunt Minnie. Willie Horton, one of the dangerous Willies in baseball. A 3-run tater, and the Tigers break the shutout in absolutely spectacular fashion. 3-run bomb by Willie Horton, 414 feet, baby. Let's look at that one again. So let me see, 99 off the bat. Big arcing shot by Willie Horton. And there she goes out into the bullpen. Touch them all. Willie Horton. So again, Mike's detail on these uniforms, every bit as good. Out of the Park needs to fix that clipping, by the way. But anyhow, what a shot by Willie Horton. So Jim Palmer finally strikes out a batter, and with 2 outs, again, throughout this game, Detroit getting runners on, but Willie Horton just getting tired. I'm fed up, and Aunt Minnie, I think that would knock 2 pies off the windowsill that time. All right. So my Irish great-grandmom, when she used to make pies, that's how she cooled them. She put them in the, her name wasn't Minnie, though. She always put them in the window. So that's from my Irish great-grandmom when I say that. Stolen, of course, from the great Rosie Rosewell, great baseball broadcaster who taught another great baseball broadcaster, Bob Prince. In fact, when Bob Prince joined the Pirates, Rosewell was calling the game. And so one of Rosewell's trademarks for home runs was they would like smash glass. And that was Bob Prince's job when he first started. So good stuff. All right, here's Norm Cash. Let's see what Jim Palmer does after giving up that 3-run bomb by Willie Horton. Count full on Stormin' Norman. Grounded to first his last time up. And this one's going to sneak past second into center field for a base hit. 10th hit now for the Tigers, and they are in the catbird seat. And now we got Don Hood coming in relief. Let's look at Don Hood's, let's look at his stats here. In 1973 for the Baltimore Orioles, he was 3 wins, 2 losses, and a save. 32 1/3 innings worked. Walked 6, struck out 16 with an ERA of 3.90. All right, here's Ron LaFleur, who came in to pinch run, stayed in the game to play center field. So 2 away, Norm Cash, decent speed at first if he gets going. All right, lefty Don Hood has finished his warm-up pitches. The count, 1 ball, 1 strike. And LaFleur swings on this one and hit to third. Close play by Brooks Robinson, but getting it out of the glove, and that will get Cash and the side. But the Tigers pick up 3. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Tigers lead the Orioles here on opening day in Baltimore, 3-1, 1974. All right, we're back at the top of the order for Baltimore. John Knox in there at second. I missed him last inning, playing second now for the Tigers. Al Bunbury, Rich Coggins, and Bobby Grich due up here in the bottom of the 8th. Lolich with 3 strikeouts and a walk, ready to go, looking strong. Hard hit ground ball to second, ranging over to his left. And making a nice play is John Knox. So 1 up, 1 down, and here's Enos Cabell. And I think Enos Cabell making his first appearance on this channel. I don't ever remember seeing Enos Cabell playing in any game I can recall. So here's Cabell. And quick look at his stats. In 1973, just 32 games for Cabell, with a home run, 3 runs batted in, and a .213 average. All right, here we go. 1-1 is the count. Cabell cuts on this ball, little roller to third, and up and over with it is Rodriguez de Cash. 5-3 and 2 down in the bottom of the 8th. We get to the we get to the Tiger 9th. I'm sorry, it will be Freehand, Knox, and Brinkman. And there's Hot Wheels head-to-head racing. This is another great presentation game you have going tonight. Thank you, my friend. Really appreciate it. Guys, great channel to check out there. Hot Wheels Racing, the real deal. It's the real deal, Holyfield. All right. And we're trying to talk him into broadcasting some baseball. So fingers crossed here. All right, Bobby Grich, 0-for-2 on the day. Mickey Lolich looking strong. Still has some gas in the tank there. Pitching pretty damned effectively here. Holding Baltimore to just 1 run and 4 hits. 0-2 pitch to Grich. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Nice change up there by Lolich. So the Orioles will go in order. We head to the top of the 9th. The Tigers lead the Orioles 3-1. Freehand, Knox, and Brinkman due up for the Tigers. So a big star of the game, in my estimation, is Willie Horton. So Willie Horton was 17 home runs in 1973 with 53 ribbies. Of course, Horton, a member of that great 1968 Tigers squad. John says, Beatles Payoff Pitch PC does something that I absolutely love, and I wish Out of the Park would do it. And John is going to keep me on pins and needles. So, John, please do tell, my friend. All right, here's Bill Freehand. So, excellent contact hitter, good power, but nothing for 3. He's not been able to solve Jim Palmer. Let's see if he does any better against the lefty Don Hood, who has the sign from Earl Williams. The 2-2 pitch on the way. Popped to second, popped to Grich last time. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Don Hood picks up his first strikeout of the inning, and there goes Bill Freehand. All right, here's John Knox making his first plate appearance. Count 1-1. The lefty swings, hard hit ground ball to third, and that's routine for Brooks Robinson. It would be routine for Brooks Robinson if the thing was 30 feet in the air. Somehow Brooksy would bring it down. So John says you can start an historical replay on any day. Oh my God, no, okay, that's super cool. On any day during the season with the in real life scores and standings up to that date. So just start it. So like, so you install a season or whatever in Payoff Pitch, and you want to start on, July 1st, 1974. Oh man, that is great. In fact, I don't know, because there's no other baseball sim that does that. That's amazing. I don't know of any other baseball sim that does that, because all the other ones you have to autoplay everything else first. So what will be interesting, so I wonder how the stat tracking will work up to that, John. So let's say you are going up to right before the All-Star break. So still, that's that's fantastic. That makes me want to now really buy that game. Could payoff pitch be the next game I'm going to go all in on? I hope they do have some older baseball on payoff pitch. We'll see. Yeah, John says he can see himself playing a lot of September. Same here, brother. Same here. All right, here's Ed Brinkman. So I should say that the games that do autoplay in the background, the fastest one that I've seen, and again, uh, is Baseball for Windows. You can rip through a season and that thing in literally maybe 3 minutes, if that. But this would be a real game changer if Payoff Pitch is doing that. So come on April when it's due out. Real stats and standings up to any date in the season. Oh, Payoff Pitch, please, please, please. And not just 21st century baseball. And if you're not going to go back to the dead ball era, at least release some 1970 seasons. I get the Payoff Pitch. It's not going to have every season available. That would be nice, but looking forward to it. It looks beautiful. Baseball Maelstrom's coverage on Payoff Pitch has been absolutely stellar. So, folks, check it out. All right, 2 down here for Ed Brinkman, who's 1 for 4. 1-1 pitch on the way. Brinkman singled back in the 8th, swung on, and this should retire the side as this one grounded toward Belanger, and that is the 6-3 putout. No runs, no hits, no errors. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Detroit finds itself in the short end of a 3-1 lead. The 4-5-6 due up for the O's. Tommy Davis, Don Baylor, and Brooks Robinson. 42 minutes is where we are in this broadcast. Tommy Davis 1 for 3 with that RBI. Again, responsible for the only Baltimore run back in the bottom of the first. Mickey Lolich at 99 pitches still has some gas in the tank. And here we go. Davis swinging on the first pitch, and just a little one-hop job there to short, and that's Ed Brinkman to Norm Cash. 1 up, 1 down. Here's Don Baylor now. 1 for 3 for Don Baylor.
Strike 3.
Baylor looks at a called strike 3. That one a knee buckling, a little off-speed job there that grabs the outside corner. It's down to Brooks Robinson to try to get something going. Earl Williams waits on deck. Mickey Lolich with 5 strikeouts and a walk, and holding Baltimore to just 1 run on 4 hits. Can he do it? Count even. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swung on, and no, this one's going to be drilled to left all the way in the corner for Brooks Robinson. 2-out double. Potential tying run now comes to the plate for the Baltimore Orioles. So yeah, John says there are a few alpha videos from around a week ago who showed that feature, one by Dave Gardner. To check that out from Dave as well. And there's a lot of excitement for Payoff Pitch. Definitely. And the cards look beautiful, don't they, John? As you hover over the players, you get to see the cards, the digitizing they did. Absolutely crystal clear, beautiful stuff. All right, here's Earl Williams, 0 for 3. Mickey Lolich ready to deal. Earl Williams swings in the first pitch. Lazy fly ball to left, ranging to his right, tapping the glove is Willie Horton. And how about it? The Tigers behind in this game up until the 8th, and Willie Horton goes yard. Let's look at our recap. Lolich shows 5-hitter en route to a 3-1 Tigers win. Opening day festivities begun throughout the league. Fans of the Baltimore Orioles were eager to watch Jim Palmer square off against Mickey Lolich of the visiting Detroit Tigers. In the end, the Tigers won the game 3-1 with Mickey Lolich leading the way. Lolich pitched a complete game for Detroit. The 33-year-old left-hander was charged with 1 run on 5 hits. He struck out 5 during his 110-pitch performance. One thing that out of the park, many things, but that I love, that it really excels at. I love the game recaps. I love these WPA graphs. Just fantastic stuff. All right, so for the Detroit Tigers, who spoil opening day here in 1974 for the Baltimore Orioles, 3 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. for the Baltimore Orioles, 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. So let's look at the pitching. Looking at the pitching here. Mickey Lolich, 9 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for him. Jim Palmer went 7 2/3, gave up 10 hits, 3 earned runs, struck out 1, gave up that Willie Horton 3-run shot. Then Don Hood came in, worked an inning and a third in relief, and struck out 1. Player of the game is Mickey Lolich. Got to give it to him. You know, keeping these Tigers, keeping these Orioles, scoreless after the first inning and allowing Willie Horton to go big time in the 8th. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and jump out of this game, and we're going to just. So this is a good lineup. Originally, I was going to do, just because of the matchup and because Wilbur Wood, may his memory be eternal, California Angels versus the Chicago White Sox. And I frankly don't do enough White Sox games on here. I've got to remedy that situation. Also, I was liking this Luis Tiant versus Jim Colborn. Pretty nice little matchup there. Padres and Dodgers, we're just going to quick play that one. And this is going to be the Padres 8-6. Grubb. Let me see who do we got here. Greif gets the win. Greif. Don Sutton takes the loss. McIntosh with the save. Player of the game was Hilton. Grubb with a home run for San Diego, and Joshua and Lopes each homered for the Dodgers in losing cause. Okay, so we got that one out of the way. Astros, Giants, Dave Roberts, Tom Bradley. We're just going to auto play it. And this one, nice tight game here, 3-2 in favor of the Astros. Roberts with the win, Bradley with the loss. Forsch gets the save. Roberts, player of the game. Doug Rader has a tater in that game. All right. So that takes care of the National League on this day. And I think we'll leave these 2 games for another time. Yeah. When I find a good year, I can install any damn year you want. Let me know. I'll do that right now. Give me a good year. You want the 1982 Brewers? I'll install the season right now, man. I will do this. Let me just save. Can at least, we got to do something. We got 2, because Nathaniel's here. He's a Brewers fan. All right, let's go to the start screen. And this will be for anybody new to Out of the Park Baseball to show you just how easy this is to do. So let's do a new historical game. And no, screw challenge mode. I don't care. All right, quick question. When will we get Out of the Park news? When I'm allowed to talk about it. So I'm going to be really, really, really very, very vague here. So there's a nice new feature in Out of the Park Baseball that's going to help you get to know the players a lot better. If you're a content creator, I think you're going to like this new feature as well. And that's all I can say. All right. So come on, Brewers fans. Give me a year. Give me a year. Give me a year. And I'm guessing it's going to be Harvey's Wall Bangers here. So give me the year. Is it 82? Let me see. This will tell me. It's a lot of reading. Okay. All right. So 1982. Are you guys good with the 1982 Brewers? Or do you want something a little bit more close to now? Let me know. I will wait. 82. All right. That's what it's going to be. And we'll do this as a replay. And we will just go on to the next step. So you can see tons and tons, five play modes here right now in Out of the Park 26. We will use the real historical transactions, lineups. We're not going to worry about the, we could do the real minors, but we're not going to, I don't mess with the minor leagues too much. So we're going to just turn off financials because I don't care. We're going to recalc on just the 1 year since it is just strict replay mode. And we're not going to use scouting. So do not use scouting if you're doing a season replay, by the way. So it's on by default. So you don't have to turn it on. Okay. Just a little tip. if you're playing a draft league, I always turn that on. Okay, I want no fictional players. No fictional players. Okay, next step. We're almost there. 1982, also in Billy Martin managed the Oakland A's. Some Billy ball. Yeah, we'll be playing around here. So we'll call this wall bangers. Why not? Yes, we do take requests. All right, and I want to save daily. I'm just playing as a manager. Playing commissioner mode cannot be fired, of course. And now it has me born in 1952. Wow. Okay. So it's kind of fun. All right, let's move on, move on, move on. Okay. So now this is Mike's Mods doing all the good stuff. And voila, baby, you're in. And since we didn't use, if we would have minor leagues, you would see that you could then pick. So, and one thing that again that out of the park baseball does that no other game does, um, the closest would be pocket pennant run, is you can actually play a complete minor league season in out of the park baseball. So I really really love that. We will of course pick the Milwaukee Brewers as a team we're going to manage, but you can really manage any team you want. All right, let's do this. For the first time ever, you lost your save games out of the park baseball. Oh, John, I feel your pain, man. That sucks so hard. That happened to me. So Ken Castro, Dwayne Martz, and I set up this amazing league of just like random teams all over the place, and played a few games, and then I found this really cool project that somebody had on the Out of Park forums. Oh, first thing we always do, folks, is we change the name of the Guardians because they're not the Guardians then. So when you do this, just make sure to type Indians and then hit return, like so. There we go. I'll fix the logo later. But yeah, so and I'm thinking, oh, this is really cool. So I installed it and it said World Dat missing. So the person didn't include that. And I was trying to fix the problem and lost everything, man. It sucks. So I do try to make a habit of backing up games now when I can. I'm going to do some game. I want to do some overall game settings here. So what I like to do is I like to save box or generate recaps and everything for. I always just set it as all leagues, and game logs. I want because you can watch complete game replays in here as well. So I do like to do that. All right, so we are good there. Players and team. I don't think we're going to enable injuries. I think we're just going to leave everything as is here. We're not going to do anything in player development in this, especially because we're just doing a single season replay. That's best used in career mode face gen. We're not messing with. So create player face gen pictures. We'll just leave everything go. AI settings, going to leave them go there. Almanac, blah, blah, blah. Database, there we go. League settings. League settings, we should be all good. We should be all good. Let's go to the Brewers team home screen and let's look at lineups. So let me see. We got Molitor, Thomas, Yount, Cooper, Simmons, Gantner, Ogilvie. We just saw Ben Ogilvie, and Charlie Moore. So if you guys are happy with those lineups, we'll let them go as they are. We can also have the AI suggest lineups, but these look pretty good. I think these look pretty good. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's look at your pitching rotation. All right, so Haas, Vukovic, McClure, Caldwell, and Lurch. So 3 lefties in this 5-man rotation. Okay. Raleigh Fingers, your closer, of course. Has anybody compiled a list of quick starts? Wow. That would be a really good idea, Crusader. That would be a great idea. There's some superb quick starts out there. Mike Garland has done some real bangers, man. Real bangers. John says, what's weird is that your save games were still on the computer, but you didn't find them until you'd already uninstalled Out of the Park 26. That is weird. All right. Well, if you guys are up for a game, we'll play. We'll do. We will do opening day. Okay, season predictions and everything. And I've received a personal message. Welcome to the new season. I hope that the off season has treated you well. No, it's been damn cold, actually. It's also a reminder that your goal is to stay respectable on the field. Okay, so that means I can't moon anybody in Yankee Stadium. Damn. Okay, well, that really sucks. I don't want to. I don't want to learn. Okay, news flash. Opening day. All right, let's finish today. And let's do play until this game. So here we go. Who are our top? Let me see. Here's the top 10 BNN prospects list published. If anybody cares, there it is. There it is. So Wade Boggs at first. We've got Tony Gwynn in there at center. Don Mattingly in left. Tony Phillips at short. Julio Franco also at short. Hojo at third. Mark Eichhorn and Tom Hankey. Hankey, I'm sorry. Mr. Hankey, the Christmas poo. Don Slott playing for the Kansas City Royals. Don Slott will go on to be a Pittsburgh Pirate. And then Jim Gott, also future Pittsburgh Pirate. All right. Do the player picks here work with Action PC Baseball? Yes, they do. Yes, they do indeed. Oh, yeah. John says he doesn't think that's their definition of being respectable in the field. Yeah, so I'm using the player photos Action PC. Just remember, if you're playing out of the park baseball, um, and I know that you're asking about Action PC, but in out of the park baseball, the thing that throws everybody off is player pictures go in the photos directory, not the pictures directory. And yes, these photos are actually that I'm using in the game are from out of the park baseball. All right. Are we ready to play this game? We are. We are. So this isn't a complete set. That's why you are going to see some face gen happening. All right, here we go. Let's look at this. We are on our way to Exhibition Stadium in Toledo, Ontario, Canada. 43 degrees. And but the wind blowing right to left at 13 miles an hour. So this time of year in Canada, with a 13-mile-an-hour breeze, going to be a little bit nippy out there. For the visiting Milwaukee Brewers, leading off at third base, Paul Molitor, batting second and catching Charlie Moore. Batting third in left field, or in first base, Cecil Cooper. Batting in the cleanup spot, left fielder Ben Ogilvy. Batting fifth in center field, Gorman Thomas. Larry Heisel will be wearing the DH mantle and batting sixth. Robin Yount at short, batting seventh. Mark Breward will be at right field, batting eighth. And Jim Gantner at the Keystone sack at second base. Pete Vukovic, of course, movie star, or will be, and what, 19, when did they make Major League? Anyhow, there he goes. He'll be starting today. Let's look at the hometown Toronto Blue Jays. Leading off at short, Alfredo Griffin batting second. Left field, Al Woods batting third. Center fielder, Lloyd Mosby. In the cleanup spot at first base, Willie Upshaw. Batting fifth and DHing, John Mayberry. Batting sixth in right field, Jesse Barfield. Batting seventh and catching, Ernie Witt. Batting eighth at second base, Damaso Garcia. Batting ninth at third base, Rance Molyneux. I always thought that was just a very bizarre first and last name. No offense, Rance Molyneux, not as if he's actually going to be here. Mark Bombach will get the starts. We're going to do park pick, park pick, park pick. DH is on as it should be. And let's rock and roll. Opening day, Milwaukee Brewers at Toronto. And here we are. Woo! That's very blue. It's very blue. 2 American League games in one night. All right. Looking at the starting defense for the Toronto Blue Jays in left field, we have Al Woods, our center fielder. So we would have to actually change the camera angle. We got Lloyd Mosby out there in center, Jesse Barfield in right. That's not an arm. That is a howitzer. From first to third, we got Willie Upshaw, Damaso Garcia, Alfredo Griffin, Rance Molyneux. Behind the plate, Ernie Witt wearing the tools of ignorance. And on the mound, Mark Bombach. Looking at Bombach's record in 1982, or 1981, I should say, he was 5-5, 90 1/3 innings pitched. Had a much better year in 1980 with the New York Mets, where he was 10-8. All right, we are ready to go. Leading off, Paul Molitor, always an exciting player, great contact player, excellent power for Paul Molitor. And that 1981 bizarre season, managed 2 home runs, 19 RBI, if you remember that 1981 season, with a little work stoppage. Let's do a fly around Exhibition Stadium. Thank you once again to Mike Silva for the uniforms and the ballparks. 2-0 pitch, and Molitor cuts on this slow roller to short. Molitor, good speed down the line. Bang, bang play at first. Griffin with a good, strong throw to get Molitor. And great job there by Alfredo Griffin to stay with it, as Molitor can absolutely work 5 down the line. All right, here's Charlie Moore. 1-0 pitch on the way. And Charlie Moore, soft liner back to the mound. Bombach spears it 1 or 2 down. All right, here's Cecil Cooper. Dangerous bat here for Mr. Cooper. Again, in that cut in half season, Cooper still managed 12 home runs, 60 RBI, and a .320 average. 2 away here in the top of the first. Milwaukee versus Toronto, an opening day here at Exhibition Stadium. Lefty Cooper swings in the first pitch, slow roller to short, and moving to his left is Alfredo Griffin, and that will be a 6-3 putout. So the Milwaukee Brewers go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the first, the Brewers nothing, and the Blue Jays coming to bat. Starting defense for the for the Milwaukee Brewers here, as I try to catch my breath. We got Ogilvy in left, Thomas in center, and Bruhard over in right. I'm going to keep saying Brouchard, and I'm very sorry about that. Cecil Cooper at first, Jim Gantner at second, Robin Yount at short, Paul Molitor at third, Charlie Moore behind the dish, and Pete Vukovich. There he is. There he is, the most offensive nose hairs in the league on the mound. So I got to tell you how much I love you Milwaukee guys. All right, so remember this during the season, because I'm a Pirate fan, and you know that we always talk smack during the season. So I do hope you guys will enjoy some Milwaukee Brewers games. All right, Alfredo Griffin to start things off here for the Toronto Blue Jays. Vukovich has a sign from Charlie Moore. Here is the wind and the pitch. And Griffin swings up the middle, base hit. All right, here's Al Woods. Let's look at Al Woods here. Al Woods in 1981, a home run, 21 runs batted in. Griffin, good speed over there at first. First pitch swinging, grounder to short with a 2. They got the 2 ball, 6-4-3. So Yount to Gantner and on to Cooper for the 6-4-3 double play. All right, number 3 batter, center fielder Lloyd Mosby up there. Base is empty. Vukovich with a 1-1 delivery. Mosby cuts on this one. Hard ground ball to first, but not a problem. Cecil Cooper will take it to the bag himself. The Brewers allow a base runner, but face the minimum. We go to the top of the second, and we are scoreless here in Toronto. Ben Ogilvy, Gorman Thomas, and Larry Heisel due up. Ogilvy, below average contact, but if he can get good contact in the ball, it's going to go at least 27 kilometers. We're playing in Canada, so it's got to be kilometers. Count full on Ogilvy, swung on, and not good contact. Just a little dribbler out there to second. Damaso Garcia to Willie Opshaw. One away, and here is Gorman Thomas. Count full on Thomas. Here's the pitch. Thomas swings. This one, fly ball, shallow center. Racing in on it is Lloyd Mosby, and he will bring it down into the glove. 2 up, 2 down now for Larry Heisel. 1-2 pitch on the way. Heisel swings. This one lofted to left, over toward the foul line. Woods will make the grab. 1-2-3, go the Brewers. Bottom of the second inning, and we are scoreless. Willie Upshaw, John Mayberry, and Jesse Barfield due up for the Toronto Blue Jays. So John says that this is the exhibition stadium that he uses in Action PC. Yeah, Mike's absolutely chuffed that these ballparks are being used in a lot of other games. I've seen people use them in Digital Diamond as well. They're beautiful, and the fact that he did these in Google SketchUp, not the easiest program to use. If I would have done these, I would have done these in Blender, but Mike did a fantastic job here. Even down to, if you guys look, you have to put your noses up to your screens or your phones or whatever. But look, even the detail down to the the team logos out there along the left field and right field walls. That's super cool. Willie Upshaw, John Mayberry, and Jesse Barfield, as previously announced. Upshaw, pretty good contact hitter, has decent power. Let's see, Upshaw, 10 home runs in that 1981, or 4 home runs with 10 RBI in that 1981 season. Count even, 2-2. Upshaw swings, hard hit ground ball to first. Plenty of time for Cecil Cooper to trot to the bag and tow it for out number 1. So where do you get Mike's stadiums? So 2 ways to get them. If you bought the game on Steam, they're in Workshop Central, as John told you. If not, you can get them in the Out of the Park forums. What I would suggest, though, is getting the game on Steam, because with Workshop, it does all the work for you, which is really nice. And Steam keeps the game automatically updated. And if you do get the ballparks Hot Wheels, also please get the Mike's uniform mod. It adds so much to the game. All right, here's John Mayberry now batting with 1 down. Count full on Mayberry, and Mayberry swings on a pitcher's pitch. And how about that? Gantner up with it and over. So he did work Vukovic deep into the count, but 2 down. Here's Jesse Barfield now. Barfield ahead 3-0, and he's going to look at 1 outside and low, ball 4. So Barfield on at first, and here comes Ernie Witt. 0-1 on Witt, swung on, and this one a little flare out into center field. And Barfield thought about third, but they're going to hold him at second. 2 down, 2 on for Toronto here in the bottom of the second, opening day for Damaso Garcia. 1-1 on Garcia, swung on. This one drilled into center field, base hit. And Toronto draws first blood as Jesse Barfield will score standing up. Let's give that a nice little replay here. So Garcia, great contact, good place hitting there by Garcia. The throw comes home, and Barfield in there easily. Baseball on carpet, says Mick, shaking his head. I know, Mick, what can I say, man? What can I say? I'm so sorry. First game I did was on grass, though. But it is kind of weird to see AstroTurf here on the old, in our family conclave here. It's weird, I know, man. All right, 2 on for Rance Molinix. Witt on at second. Garcia on at first. Decent speed here for the Jays. 1 in. Garcia getting the RBI single to score Jesse Barfield. 1-2 pitch. Molinix sends this one sinking liner out to center field. This goes all the way to the wall. This one's serious trouble. Oh my God, here we go. Ernie Witt scores. Garcia will score. Rance Molinix with a 2 RBI double in Toronto. Bottom of the second, lead the Brewers 3-0. And this is 1982 Harvey's Wall Bangers. So they'll pick it up. 1970s National League had a lot of artificial turf. Yeah, with those all-purpose stadiums, and a lot of them in small market teams. At least it's an outdoor stadium, says John. I don't know that I would want to go see a game in Toronto in early April, but yeah. And I often wondered, somebody told me this is that this became like a football field or something, all this real estate, because I guess these stands weren't used in exhibition stadium, but they were used for football, meaning I don't know if it was for soccer or for Canadian football. I have no idea. Yeah, now they have a dome at the Rogers Center and Hard Rock Cafe. All right, Molinix in scoring position. Big double by Molinix. And here's Alfredo Griffin. 1-2 pitch. And this one skied to center field. This should end the inning, and indeed it does. Gorman Thomas makes the catch, but the Blue Jays put 3 on the board. We go to the top of the third inning. Toronto leads Milwaukee 3-0. And we will have Rahmed Yount, Mark Bruhard, and Jim Gantner due up. So Yount, obviously a dangerous hitter. Here's the pitch. First pitch swinging, not too much danger here. Popped into foul ground, third base side, and that's Rance Molinix. So 1 up, 1 down here for Mark Bruhard. 1-2 pitch. Bruhard swings. This one drilled to right. This one could be trouble. This one off the wall in the corner in right field. Bruhard is going to go for a triple as the throw hits the cutoff man. Throw to third, not even in time. All right, so here we go for Milwaukee. A big 1-out, 3-bagger, and here's Jim Gantner now. Gantner, good contact hitter, trying to get this run in and get a number up there in the correct column for Harvey's Wall Bangers. Bomback having to work out of the stretch. Ernie Witt sets the target. The 0-1 pitch, swung on, grounder to first, and that will be out number 2. Swing around to the top of the order. Paul Molitor, 0-for-1. Some hardy souls coming up here to Toronto from Milwaukee. Count full on Molitor. Molitor takes ball 4 inside, missing just low. All right, Bomback working with runners at the corners. Here's Charlie Moore now. Ahead 3-0, and Moore's going to take inside, and Bomback has loaded him up. So Milwaukee with a golden opportunity here with Cecil Cooper at the plate. Serious power in this right-hander. So Christopher, hey, welcome in. He says, this is still up. It is a BMO stadium and hosts the Argonauts and some World Cup games. Tessie Ashcole joined us. He says, king of the 1970s turf, the wonderful Astrodome. How about it? How about it? All right, we blame the play-by-play guy. Hey, Gary, good evening. Welcome in. Good to see everybody here hanging out. 2 American League games tonight from somebody who is a National League fan. But it's all baseball and it's all good. Cecil Cooper, power hitter with the bases loaded. Mark Bruhard at third. Molitor at second. Charlie Moore at first. 2 down, top of the third. 3-0 Toronto lead here on opening day. The 1-0 pitch. Cooper swings after all that drama. Popped in the infield. and the Brewers waste a golden opportunity as Bombach off the bump makes the grab. So Milwaukee leaves them sold out. We go to the bottom of the third inning. Blue Jays 3 and the Brewers nothing. It'll be Al Woods, Lloyd Mosby, Willie Upshaw due up here. Opening day 1982, Charlie Moore sets the target. Vukovic behind 2-1 to Woods and swung on. And just a little tapper up the first base line. Cecil Cooper will take it to the bag unassisted, one away from Lloyd Mosby. Mosby batting in number 3 slot, 0 for 1. Mosby swings and drills this one into center base hit. 5th base hit for the Toronto Blue Jays. Here's Willie Upshaw, nothing for 1. Count full. Runner thought about going. Upshaw skies this one to center field. And nice play out there by Gorman Thomas. Gorman Thomas first started coming in on the play, then going back. Let's have a quick look at the weather here in Toronto. It's partly cloudy, 43 degrees, and we have a crosswind from right to left at 13 miles per hour. All right, 2 away here for John Mayberry. 0-2 the count. Mayberry swings and misses. Change up there. So Pete Vukovic picking up the strikeout. We go to the top of the 4th, 3-0 Toronto. Big story thus far, for the Brewers, leaving them loaded. All right, Ben Ogilvie, Gorman Thomas, Larry Heisel. Ogilvie, nothing for 1. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ogilvie bounced to second his last time, and he's going to ground to first. 3 unassisted by Willie Upshaw. 1 up, 1 down. Here's Gorman Thomas. Count full on Thomas. Swung on. Grounder to short. Griffin to Upshaw. All right, 2 away. And here's Larry Heisel. 2-2 on Heisel. Swung on. Hard hit ground ball to third. Nice stop over there at the hot corner by Rance Molinek. And shoots a strike onto first. So the Milwaukee Brewers go in order, and we will go to the bottom of the 4th inning, where it's 3-0 Toronto. Jesse Barfield, Ernie Witt, and Damaso Garcia due up. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jesse Barfield cuts and misses on a changeup. So good pitch there by Vukovic to pick up his 2nd K of the game. Beatles, who's the first player to hit a homer in the Astrodome. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I hope it was a Pittsburgh. No, it wouldn't have been a Pittsburgh Pirate. Yes, it would, because Houston was in the National League. Why should I know this? It's got to be a Pittsburgh Pirate. Please be a Pittsburgh Pirate. And Gary, good to see you, man. Oh my God, now I have to think. He's making me think. There go the neurons firing. The smoke is pouring out of my ears right now. It's got to be a bucko, man. It's got to be a bucko. I'm going to say Willie Stargell. We'll say the Starge. Wilver Dornell Stargell. All right. Ernie Witt bats with 1 down. Damaso Garcia on deck. 0-1 pitch to Ernie Witt. Witt swings, and this one ripped out to right. But Mark Bruhard will make the grab. Calling off Mr. Thomas out there in center field. 2 away for Damaso Garcia. Garcia with an RBI in this game. 0-1 pitch. And that was a single by Garcia. And this one drilled. It's a little single-guy single past diving second baseman Jim Gantner into right field. So here we go. Here's Rance Molinek now. Rance Molinek, a big hit in this game. 2 RBI double for him last time up. And there goes the runner. Garcia is going to be in there. Picks up his first steal of the season. That's something else that we'll talk about with Out of the Park 27, but steals. Just enough to be after whetting your appetites now. All right, here's Rance Molinek batting with a runner in scoring position. Damaso Garcia scores easily from second on a single. 0-2 pitch. Mullenix swings. This one high and fairly deep to center field, but not enough. Gorman Thomas has it. No runs, one hit, no errors. A runner left in scoring position. We head to the top of the fifth inning. 3-0 Toronto. Robin Yount, Mark Bruhard, and Jim Gantner due up. 1-2 pitch to Robin Yount. Swung on. Roller to third. Routine play for Mullenix. Score that one 5-3, one away. And no answer yet on who hit. So it must not be Willie Stargell, I guess. Ugh. All right, here's Mark Bruhard now, 1-for-1 in the game. The only hit, actually, for these Brewers, and that was a triple, sinking liner to right, and perfectly played by Jesse Barfield. One away. 2 down here in the top of the fifth inning in the second game of an unplanned doubleheader. Here's Jim Gantner, 0-for-1. Here's the pitch. Gantner swinging on the first pitch. Soft liner to Willie Upshaw. That's it. The Brewers do nothing once again. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Toronto leads Milwaukee 3-0. Alfredo Griffin, we're back at the top of the order. Al Woods and Lloyd Mosby due up for these Blue Jays. All right. Vukovic has the sign from Charlie Moore. Toes the rubber, winds, and the 2-2 pitch. And Griffin swings on this one, drilled deep to center field. Playing back on that one is Gorman Thomas. So Thomas makes the play, one away for Al Woods. 0-for-2. First pitch swinging to Harper to short. And gloved nicely by Robin Yount. Good range out there, as you can see here, by Robin Yount. Just one Gold Glover in this infield, though. Cecil Cooper. All right, here's Lloyd Mosby batting with 2 outs, and the base is empty. 1-for-2 for Mosby. 1-0 pitch. And bouncer right there to Cecil Cooper. 3 unassisted. So the Blue Jays maintain a 3-0 lead. Let's go to the top of the sixth. Hopefully folks will be joining us here on Sunday. At some point, I don't know what time I'll be coming on Sunday, but for our Super Bowl Sunday baseball shenanigans, instead of calling it a spectacular, let's call it shenanigans. So football fans are welcome. Sorry, but I do have to chuckle about the, a little bit of a chuckle about the controversy on the Super Bowl halftime show. It's not that I'm a fan of Bad Bunny. I just think it is whatever it is, man. I mean, you're supposed to be going for the football game, right? The halftime show. So, anyhow, that's all I've got to say about that. I'm biased. I don't like football, so. Back at the top of the order for Paul Molitor. Count even, 2-2. Molitor walked last time up. And Molitor sends this one deep to center field. And this one off the wall. Here comes Paul Molitor. And he's going to hold up there at the Keystone sack. So Mosby playing the Karen perfectly. Molitor easily, with the speed, could have tripled. But great play out there in center field to hold the speedy Paul Molitor. But here we go. Here's Charlie Moore. So Charlie Moore, 0-for-1. Here's the pitch. Moore, first pitch swinging. And this one, hard ground ball up the middle, base hit. Molitor heading for home. And the throw hits the cutoff man. And the Milwaukee Brewers in the top of the sixth get on the board. It is 3-1. John DFW says he greatly dislikes both teams, and he's never heard of that halftime show group. So Bad Bunny apparently is like some new artist or something, making it real big, real fast, and that's all I know. So I know Bad Bunny wasn't in Pink Floyd or the Beatles or the Moody Blues or the Who or Black Sabbath or Judas Priest or really any music. But anyhow, I guess there's some brouhaha about all that going on. So had a chuckle. That was it. So Milwaukee decided to show up and play some baseball here now as they get one here in the sixth inning. 3-1, and the tying run at the plate in Cecil Cooper, who the last time when they were jammed, Cecil didn't get it done. 1-0 pitch, Cooper swings, but he's going to get it done maybe this time. Liner into right field. And Cecil Cooper, this one's going to go all the way to the wall. I don't know if they're going to score that one in error. They will indeed score that in error as Jesse Barfield with the fumble. So we use a little football term there. Score that one E9 and another run in for Harvey's Wallbangers. Now it's a game, 3-2. And here's Ben Ogilvy. So single and an error for Cecil Cooper and an RBI. Ben Ogilvy, 0-for-2 in the game. 0-2 pitch and late swing by Ogilvy. Fold on the changeup. Steer right 3. Bomback picks up his first K of the game. Here's Garman Thomas now. 0-for-2. Cooper at second. 2-1 pitch. Popped high in the infield, second base side. Coming in, pulling it down is Damaso Garcia. All right, 2 down. Let's see if Larry Heisel can even the score here. Tying run in scoring position for Milwaukee. 0-1 pitch. Heisel hit by the pitch. So a little curveball. The hammer missing big time. Heisel will take it. And here is Robin Yount. 1-1. Grounded out his last time up. Base hit pass short. Center field, and Robin Yount's going to tie it up with an RBI single. In the top of the 6th inning, Harvey Wallbangers tie it up 3-3, baby. Halftime shows have been going rapidly downhill since the 1990s, says John. Mick says the commercials during the Super Bowl used to be entertaining, now not so much. I remember one year I was forced to watch it, and I believe it was Lipton Tea. And it was a baseball commercial. It was Babe Ruth, man. They had Babe Ruth, like a Pixar Babe Ruth. That was so cool. I don't know what year that was, but I was very happy. So somebody made me watch, oh, come on, watch a few commercials and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, Babe Ruth. And then the next commercial was lame. And I said, well, I've got baseball to do. See ya. All right. Heisel at second. Robin Yount at first, 2 downers, Mark Bruard. So here we go. Can Milwaukee keep it going? All this hell-raising and 2 outs. 3-1. Bruard checks the swing. They appeal down the first, and the man in blue says he did not go around. All right, so once again, the Milwaukee Brewers have the bases loaded, and here comes Jim Gantner, who is 0-for-2. Jim Gantner, does he bring his bat? So just 2 home runs in 1981 for Gantner. Not known as a power hitter, but good contact. See if he can get Larry Heisel in and give these Brewers a lead for our 2 Brewers fans in the broadcast. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and it's Lee Jackson. Did I read that correctly? And they retire Gantner. So once again, the Milwaukee Brewers leave the bases jammed, but 9 men come to the plate, 3 come in to score. We go to the bottom of 6th, and we are not at a 3. So if you're a Brewers fan, you got to be feeling pretty good about this game so far. 1998. Okay, thank you, Mick. We're going to get Mick on Jeopardy. He comes up with these great, like, he knows this stuff. So we're going to get Mick on Jeopardy. He's going to win, raise all kinds of money for the family, right? Yeah? So that way we can hire a broadcaster to pick up where Ernie Harwell left off, and also convince Out of the Park Baseball and Action PC to add announcers. So that way you don't have to hear me anymore. All right, Willie Upshaw leading it off here. The number 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Toronto Blue Jays will be Upshaw, Mayberry, and Barfield. Willie Upshaw in this game is 0-for-2. Here's the pitch. Upshaw swings, and a 1-hopper off the carpet to second. So Gantner to Cooper, 4-3, 1 out. Cough, internet search, cough. I'll pretend I did not see that, Mick. I'm going to just absolutely pretend I did not see that. Because I know that Mick is he's a font of knowledge. So he was doing an internet search on something else and was just coughing because it's, cold and flu season. All right. So get well, Mick. Get well. Here's John Mayberry now batting with one away, DH. Struck out his last time up, 2-2 pitch. Mayberry this time makes contact, but right to Cecil Cooper, who will handle this 3 unassisted. 2 down, here's Jesse Barfield. Is the tide turning here for the Milwaukee Brewers? Jesse Barfield, nothing for 1. 2-1 on the way home to Barfield, swung on, and this one lifted to right field. Ranging over to his right is Mark Brewer, and he makes the catch, calling off Gorman Thomas. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We go to the top of the 7th, all tied up at 3 for Milwaukee, 3-5-0, and for Toronto, 3-6-1. But Milwaukee leaving the bases loaded twice. Huge, huge, huge. All right, back at the top of the order. So last inning, when Milwaukee scored its 3 runs, 9 men came to the plate. Molitor 1 for 2. He's ahead in the count, 3-1. Here's the pitch. Paul Molitor's going to draw the walk. Could be some bad news here for Toronto. Molitor with serious speed. So Roy Lee Jackson on in relief now. Jackson's record in 1981, 1 win, 2 losses, 7 saves, 62 innings worked, 25 walks, 27 strikeouts, and a respectable 2.61 earned run average. His previous season, 1980, with the Mets, 1 win, 7 losses, 1 save, and a 4.20 earned run average. So I think we know a lot about Roy Lee Jackson now. All right, let's see. Are they going to send Molitor? Charlie Moore, a pretty decent contact hitter, so good hit and run situation. 2-1 pitch. Molitor does not go. Moore showing bunt. Slider misses low. And there goes Molitor. The bunt is down. So sacrifice successful, but Molitor would have had that base stolen nonetheless. Runner in scoring position. Go-ahead run for Milwaukee here in the top of the 7th. Brings up Cecil Cooper. Cooper 1 for 3 with an RBI. Here's the pitch, and they're going to intentionally walk Cecil Cooper. Pretty good idea, but Ben Ogilvy can hurt you. Molitor at second, Cooper at first, 1 down, 3-3 to score here, top of the 7th. Here's the pitch, and there goes Molitor to third to throw the tag, not in time. Molitor playing some good old-fashioned hard-nosed station-to-station here. Runners at the corners, Ogilvy back in the box, count full. Ogilvy swings, fly ball out to center field, and Mosby has it. The throw to the plate, not in time as it's up the first base line, and Paul Molitor will come in to score that one, an RBI, and it's 4-3 Milwaukee. Harvey's wallbangers doing what they do best. Harvey's wallbanger things. Cecil Cooper on at first. Here's Gorman Thomas now. Thomas, nothing for 3 in the contest. Count full. Thomas swings, drilled into left, base hit. And here come the Brewers. Look out, going all the way to third is Cecil Cooper. Cecil Cooper running through the stop sign and making it in there. So 2 down, runners at the corners for Larry Heisel. Nothing in 2 tries. Drilled last time by a pitch. This one grounder to second. This will end the inning. Garcia over to first for the 4-3 putout. But the Milwaukee Brewers jump into the lead here. It is 4-3 as we head to the middle of the 7th inning. So everybody sing a Deep Purple. Let's do a Deep Purple version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. John Lord on organ, Richie Blackmore on lead guitar, Ian Pace on vocals. Let's do it. So now that we can see everybody off the field again, we got to praise Mike Silva's work here. The placement, everything, that good detail there. You can see there's the Twins, there's the M's, the Rangers, Angels, the Tigers, Orioles, Indians, Jays, Sox, Brewers. So great work. Mike Silva, you are a hero. All right. We are now in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pete Vukovich now staked to a 4-3 lead, and he will face the bottom of the Toronto order, Ernie Witt, Damaso Garcia, and Rance Mulliniks. So Mulliniks had the big hit in this game, and that was back in the Toronto second, but Milwaukee coming alive now. Teams tied at 6 hits apiece. Vukovich has the sign from Charlie Moore, and the 0-1 pitch to Ernie Witt, who's doubled twice in this game. Long fly ball out to right field, but just a little arcing shot. Brewer saunters over toward the foul line and makes the catch. One away for Damaso Garcia. Garcia 2 for 2 with an RBI in this game. Ahead in the count, 2-1. Garcia swings, popped up third base side in fair territory, and it's Paul Molitor making the grabs. 2 up, 2 down for Rance Mulliniks. 2 RBI in this game. 0-1 pitch. Caught on by Mulliniks, sinking liner out to right, soft liner, and Mark Brewer has it. So they go down 1-2-3. We go to the top of the 8th inning. Milwaukee holding on to a 4-3 lead here on opening day. Roy Lee Jackson working 1 1/3 in relief will face Robin Yount, Mark Brewer, and Jim Gantner for the 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. 2-0 pitch on the way to Robin Yount, and Yount swings, and this one over short and into center base hit. You know, now that I think about it, this is the first. So I started this thing in 2018. I did take 2 years off, 2 different years off. This is the first time I've ever done a 1980s game that I can recall here, except for a World Series thing for MV. I've never done a regular World Series game in the 1980s. Wow. Pretty cool stuff. All right. Robin Yount, decent speed at first. Here's Mark Brewer now 1-4-2. 1-1 is the count, and who drew a walk back, Brewer did. And this time he's just going to pop it out. And Alfredo Griffin, ranging over to his left, will have it for out number 1. Nowhere for Robin Yount to go. Infield fly roll. Here's Jim Gantner, nothing for 3. 1-0 pitch. There goes the runner. And that Robin Yount, that wasn't even a contest. Not even a contest. Ernie Witt came up gunning, but Robin Yount halfway to second by the time the ball leaves Roy Lee Jackson's arm or hand. So runner in scoring position here. Possible little insurance here for Milwaukee. All right, the lefty Gantner back in the box. 1-1 pitch to Gantner. Grounded out. The bases loaded last time. Not going to redeem himself here. Grounder to second. On the play, Robin Yount will move to third, but 2 down, and we're back at the top of the order. Paul Molitor 1 for 2. 3-1 is the count on Molitor. Molitor drawn another walk. Molitor with 2 steals in this game thus far. When someone says 80s baseball, Beatles thinks 1880s. Absolutely, man. Where's old Hass Rodborn? Where's Michael King Kelly? Nowhere to be found. Here's Charlie Moore. Charlie Moore with an RBI in this game. 2-2 pitch. Oh, called strike 3. That's gotta hurt. And that one, that fastball paint in the corner by Roy Lee Jackson. So Minnesota, good God, forgive me. Milwaukee strands 2. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Brewers lead the Blue Jays 4-3 here on opening day. When I see you Brewers fans around, I'll do some Brewers games, guys. All right, here's Alfredo Griffin. He is 1 for 3. Going to be Griffin, Woods, and Mosby due up for Toronto. Vukovich through 7 innings of work, 2 Ks and a walk. He's at 97 pitches. 1-0 pitch on the way to the switch-hitting Alfredo Griffin, and he dumps this one over third into left, base hit. They are happy here at Exhibition Stadium as Toronto ties it up and hits 7-7. Here's Al Woods now. Al Woods, nothing in 3 attempts. Griffin, decent speed at first. Check of the runner, 1-0 pitch, and this one slugged by Al Woods, line drive to first, and a really strong throw by Mark Brewer. Griffin had his eyes on second, but Brewer He caught the ball and threw it in the same motion. Good play out there by the Milwaukee Brewers right fielder. All right, one away for Lloyd Mosby. Mosby 1 for 3. 1-1 pitch to Mosby. Up the middle, base hit for Lloyd Mosby. They're going to stop Alfredo Griffin. So Yount, ranging to his left, made a decent stab at the ball, but just under the webbing. Here's Willie Upshaw. Willie Upshaw, nothing in 3 attempts. 2 on here for the Toronto Blue Jays. Griffin at second, Mosby at first. 1-2 pitch. Upshaw, big swing and a miss on a changeup. Chasing that one, but Vukovich picking up the third strikeout. Vukovich able to go to the changeup rather effectively, at least a few times in this game. 2 on now for John Mayberry. Nothing for 3. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Mayberry swings and soft liner to the right side, and Cecil Cooper has it. No runs, 2 hits, and no errors, and 2 men left on. We go to the top of the 9th inning. The Milwaukee Brewers leading this one 4-3, and Dale Murray will come on in relief here for the Toronto Blue Jays. So second relief pitcher today. Have a quick look at just some quick numbers here for Dale Murray. In 1981, he was 1-0, 15 1/3 work, walked 5, struck out 12, a 1.17 earned run average. In a more full season, in 16 games in 1980 for Montreal. So Dale Murray hanging up there in Canada. No wins, 1 loss, 29 1/3 work, 12 walks, 16 strikeouts, and a rather inflated ERA of 6.14. Murray's finished his warm-up pitches. Here's Cecil Cooper now 1 for 3 with an RBI. Count full on Cooper. Singled and advanced an error last time up. Popped on the first base side and just outside the foul line. Willie Upshaw gloves it for out number 1. Here's a cleanup hitter, left fielder Ben Ogilvy. He has an RBI in this game. 0 for 3, 1 for 2. Ogilvy looks at a knee buckler. Nice sinker there by Dale Murray. So 2 up, 2 down. When we go to the bottom of the 9th for these Blue Jays, it'll be Barfield, Witt, and Garcia. A 1 pitch to Gorman Thomas, who's 1 for 4. Thomas, slow roller to third. And that's an easy play there for Ryan Smoleniks, and that retires the side. The Brewers go in order, and they carry a 4-3 lead into the bottom of the 9th inning. Raleigh Fingers on for the save to close this one out. So Raleigh Fingers, looking at him in 1981, worked 47 games, 6 wins, 3 losses, 28 saves for him. Worked 78 innings, 13 walks, 61 strikeouts. And damn, wouldn't you look at that ERA, 1.04. Fingers was amazing, man. Look at him, 1980 with the Padres, 11-9 with 23 saves, 103 innings worked, 32 walks, 69 strikeouts, a 2.80 earned run average. Yes, indeed. Raleigh Fingers. All right. Jesse Barfield, nothing for 2. Ernie Witt waits on deck. 1-1 pitch on the way from Fingers. And swung on by Barfield. Routine fly ball out to left. Ben Ogilvy has it. Could have been in a chaise lounge for that. 1 up, 1 down now for Ernie Witt. Ernie Witt is 1 for 3. Count full on Witt. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Steer right 3. Raleigh Fingers coming with some good old fashioned country gas. It's down to Damaso Garcia. So Toronto had a 3-0 lead going into the 6th inning, and Milwaukee just tying it up and then getting that extra run in the 7th. That's your little game summary to this point. Count even on Damaso Garcia. Here's the pitch, and strikeout ends the game, and the Milwaukee Brewers take opening day and spoil. So in both games of the doubleheader today, home team loses. Spoiling today. So Brewers victors 4-3 at Toronto. Toronto Blue Jays inaugurated their 1982 season with a tough 4-3 loss to the Milwaukee Brewers at Exhibition Stadium. Starting pitcher Pete Vukovich had perhaps the best performance for Milwaukee. Well, since it's the first game of the season, of course it would be. So sometimes the AI gets a little bit wonky on this, but we'll go with it, right? Vukovich, now 1-0, was the winner in 8 innings, gave up 8 hits, struck out 3, walked 1, and he allowed 3 runs. Ben Ogilvy, who finished third in the American League in RBI with 72 in 1981, had a direct impact on the outcome. Ogilvy contributed a run-scoring sacrifice fly in the top of the seventh, put Milwaukee up 4-3. So for the Brewers, 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors. For the Toronto Blue Jays, 3 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. And we had no open the window Ant Mini in this game. But we did have a damn triple, and we had stolen bases, baby. Gotta love the stolen bases. Paul Molitor and Robin Yount. So actually, yeah, Paul Molitor should have 2. I don't know what happened there. Maybe I missed something. Anyhow, Pete Vukovich, 8 innings, worked 8 hits, 3 earned runs, walked 1, struck out 3. Raleigh Fingers picks up the save, worked an inning, and fanned 2. Player of the game is Pete Vukovich. Hell of a performance by these Milwaukee Brewers to open the 1982 season. And there we got our batting around and stuff. All right. Nice. Let's go to MLB scores, see if there's any. Now I'm like going to have 3,000 projects going on here. This is a pretty good one here. Jack Morris, Larry Gura. Don's, we'll probably. So nothing terribly exciting here, except maybe Rogerson and Christensen. That looks pretty good. But we're not going to do any more tonight. So that's it. So 1982 Milwaukee Brewers. And that does it. It's not bad. A doubleheader in an hour and 47 minutes. And that's it. So yeah, you remember, you can use these pictures, just copy them into the player photos directory of Action PC Baseball, which we'll just bloop up here for a second. There we go. Hi there, Action PC. And there they are. Same pictures. And now we'll exit Action PC Baseball. Oh, you are so welcome, Hot Wheels. Glad you enjoyed it. I hope everybody did have a great time and, playing a little doubleheader action here. So 1974 and 1982. And that will do it for me tonight. Is it's 12:32, and I'm going to watch episode 4 of Ken Burns' Civil War documentary. I was really pissed off, though. I don't know what's going on with Amazon. So Amazon, you can do a little extra subscription. You can PBS documentaries. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, right? Because after doing all this work on Sunday, we're going to be doing lots of baseball. I thought, hey, maybe Monday night or maybe Sunday after that's all over and I'm exhausted. Mets and Cubs. Here's a good one. Mike Scott, Fergie Jenkins. So, we saw Fergie last night. Anyhow, so I'm thinking, hey, I could, watch Ken Burns baseball. So went to click on it and it said, unavailable due to expired rights. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but every other Ken Burns documentary is on there. The War is on there. The one about the Brooklyn Bridge, the Civil War, of course, Jefferson, but not baseball. Oh, the rights are expired. So Bezos, get off your ass, pay the man, and get some baseball back on there. Because as much as that has some factual issues, it is a fantastic baseball documentary. All right, that's it. So the good folks at Gunther Beer, who's sponsored game number 1, thank you. And I guess this one was brought to you by Molson. All right, guys. Thank you, family. You're awesome. And until the next time, we'll see everybody around the batting cage. Hot Wheels, damn it, get to broadcasting some baseball. All right. Good night, everybody.